WTIM.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark and People's Bank and Trust. They put people first. You'll find those streams online on the TaylorvilleDailyNews.com Facebook or on YouTube at WTIM TV. I have Ag in the Classroom coordinator. I beg your pardon, Rebecca Livingston here on the phone. I forgot who I was talking to there for a moment there, Rebecca, but I pulled it out. How are you doing, Rebecca?
Good. How are you, Avery?
I think it's pretty self-explanatory. No, I'm kidding. I'm doing fantastic. So tell me what's been going on in the world of ag in the classroom. I understand that you guys have been across the state, not just here in Christian County, but it's been pretty successful year so far in this 2022-2023 school year. So how's it been locally for your program in the last few months?
It's been great. We're pretty much back to pre-COVID, if that's what we're calling it. I'm not sure what to call it. I'm back in all the classrooms I was in before COVID. We're back to doing hands-on lessons. We're just, I don't know. It's not that I don't know, but we're just back, and we're glad to be back. We're glad to be back with a fourth. In the month of in the month of September, I saw about 1,000 kids, and in the month of October, I saw about 900 kids. So we're back.
Yeah.
Needless to say, and like you said, across the whole state, we're kind of back. We got more donations at the state level than we've ever had before, which is really nice because that impacts us locally because I'm grant funded. So that impacts our yearly grant. So the more money we get from donors across the state, the more money I can get locally. So yeah, like I said, we're doing great, not only locally, but across the state as a whole. And, we keep having new lessons come out, and we have a great state staff who are producing new lessons or like tweaking current lessons we have just to make the program the best it can be.
Participation sounds like it's going very well.
Yes. Yep. So like I said, roughly about 2,000 kids in 2 months is pretty good. Teaching quite a bit. I'm looking at my schedule right now, and the holidays in December, I've always said, is a weird month because you throw Christmas in there and Christmas break, and it's just a weird month. So we kind of I don't want to say slow down in December, but we ease up on classroom visits in December just because of everything going on. But then we're busy in other places of getting chicks ready, getting butterfly kits ready. All of that picks up in December. So.
Right, getting ready for the new actual year, 2023.
Yeah,
Not to mention you have Thanksgiving thrown in there, and it's quite a busy time. But that kind of goes into my next point. You're one of the things that you're teaching kids about right now. You are teaching them about, why we have Thanksgiving, and part of that has to do with the harvest. Can you tell me a little bit more about that lesson?
Yeah, of course. So, actually, I am focused on my older kids is more kind of sort of Thanksgiving theme, not.
Yeah, I got you.
But we are talking about pigs. So I cover Christian and Montgomery County, and Montgomery County is actually fourth in pig production in the county. So there's 102 counties in the state of Illinois, and Montgomery County is fourth. If you drive in the country in Montgomery County, you will see pig buildings. It's just it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people kind of, especially kids, tend to forget that, a lot of people eat ham on Thanksgiving. Well, ham comes from pig. It's a pork product. So we are currently talking about pigs for multiple reasons, and we're talking about ear notching in pigs with our 4th and 5th graders. And the kids find that very fascinating because they, not a lot of them have been around pigs. So, they think, oh, you just put an ear tag in them. And yes, we do. And some pigs we do ear tag them, but in pigs for identification purposes, we ear notch them, which I tell kids all the time. It's just like if you're a girl getting your ears pierced or a boy who has his ears pierced, just like getting your ears pierced, it's a quick, little triangle notch in the ear, and that's how we identify them. Just their right ear is their litter number, and their left ear is their actual number, is like their pig number. So it's just like their first and last name, and we tie that into Thanksgiving and agriculture around here, because in either county there is plenty of pigs around, and who doesn't like ham and bacon and all that fun stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah, and you mentioned how you drive through Montgomery County and you're going to see pigs. First thing that comes to mind, I see a lot of trucks transporting those pigs to go off
yep.
to be sold, and whatever else that comes with it. You can fill in the gaps, I'm sure.
Oh
That's all.
yeah.
That's all those other kind of stuff that you're teaching them, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, and then like Mass Shops headquarters are in Carlisle. I see when I'm in Taylorville, like I see Mass Shops trucks all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and it's cool to like I people ask me all the time, and they're like, oh yeah, corn and soybeans. I'm like, yeah, kids. My goal is to drive the fact home. Yes, we produce corn and soybeans, but we also produce pigs, we also produce beef, we also produce horseradish, and pumpkins, and there's a lot more specialty crops than that in Illinois besides corn and soybeans.
Right.
That yes, they are very, very important, but I want to focus on the smaller commodities that people may not think about too.
Right, such as pigs, beef, and pumpkins. Pumpkins are pretty big in Illinois. I know we're past Halloween, but it's still relevant. It's fall harvest time. That's what I consider a pumpkin. What's so special about pumpkins in Illinois?
So you actually said this, but I'll go ahead and say it again. But Illinois is the pumpkin capital of the world. If you buy canned pumpkin for pumpkin pie, yes, to me pumpkin season's not over, because Thanksgiving I think pumpkin pie. So if you buy pumpkin, like the canned Libby's pumpkin or whatever canned pumpkin you prefer, 90% of all of that canned pumpkin comes from Illinois. So actually Morton, Illinois, kind of by Peoria, is the pumpkin capital of the world. They produce more pumpkins than anyone else, which is really, really cool, I think, because once again, like I just said, we're known for corn and soybeans, but that's one of those facts that I rattle off and people are like, no, they're not. And then I Google it and I'm like, yeah, we are. We are. And I wish I had a can still, but I don't. Last year, Libby's, the canned pumpkin, on the top of their lid, they put the outline of Illinois in orange and said that we were the #1 producer of pumpkins. And I thought that was really, really cool that they did that. So
Yeah. And I know that even some giant pumpkins can come from state.
Oh yeah, pumpkins, yeah, across the boards. And another cool thing about pumpkins that I like to mention too to kids is that a lot of people think that the pumpkins that we carve and the pumpkins you eat are the same pumpkins. They're actually not. The pumpkins we carve are jack-o'-lanterns. There's different types of pumpkins, there's different types of dogs and cats and I don't know what else, different types of flowers. There's different types of pumpkins. So the pumpkins you carve are jack-o'-lanterns, and then the pumpkins we eat are actually called pie pumpkins. And the biggest difference between them is pie pumpkins have a lot more flesh. They have a lot more insides of them. Not necessarily, they just have a lot more insides and a thicker rind, so that there's more stuff on the inside, so we can take it and make canned pumpkins. And actually, I know some people, I saw it, TikTok, take it for what it is, but I saw it on there that there's a cool recipe where you can bake split a pie pumpkin in half and make it and have your own pumpkin puree, which is what canned pumpkin is. So that's just another fun fact I like to tell kids this time of year is no, the pumpkins you carve and the pumpkins we eat are actually two different types of pumpkins.
So if I try to make pumpkin pie out of a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, is it going to taste different, or?
I don't know if it would necessarily taste different, but you probably would not have enough stuff, enough of the guts and enough of the inside of a pumpkin, the flesh of a pumpkin is what they call it, to make a pumpkin pie. Does that make sense? Whereas one itty bitty pie pumpkin is enough. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. If you think of a jack-o'-lantern, it's hollow on the inside, whereas a pie pumpkin is more dense and there's more stuff inside.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk more about some of the lessons that you've been teaching students across Central Illinois for your Ag in the Classroom program. But first, we've got to run into a quick timeout. Our stream on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com's Facebook and WTIM TV YouTube, brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark and people's bank and trust, where they put people first. More from Ag in the Classroom coordinator, Rebecca Livingston, next right here on WTIM, your information station.
WTIM.
I'm Police Chief Andrew Pistorius with the Sullivan Police Department, here to talk about a topic no one wants to discuss, depression that many times leads to suicide. When a person is going through such feelings, many times family and friends don't know how to help, but there is help. If you feel depressed or lonely, there are many resources to help you. Call a trusted relative, friend, or minister, or call the Suicide Prevention Lifeline toll-free at 800-273-TALK. That's 800-273-TALK. All of us are here to help.
Here's a great way to prevent early nursing home placement. Rent one of the catered care suites at Taylorville Estates Assisted Living, 705 South Houston. Stay independent longer by living in one of these short-term apartments that include meals, laundry, a therapy, gym, and much more. And if you like it, Taylorville Estates Assisted Living has 1- and 2-bedroom apartments available for longer-term stays. Find out more. Stop by and ask for Administrator Tony Clark or call her at 824-2222. That's 824-2222. Encouraging independence, enriching lives.
Thank you for listening to this Miller Media Group radio station. We appreciate you making the choice to tune in to us. We want to remind you of some things to keep the attorneys happy. Our stations allow one winner per household in a 30-day period. Cash prizes are mailed to our winners within 30 days of winning. And as you've probably already guessed, portions of today's programming on this Miller Media Group radio station were pre-recorded and are mechanically or digitally reproduced. There. Now we've made the attorneys happy. Thanks again for listening to this Miller Media Group station.
Hello, Panther fans. This is the voice of the Eastern Illinois University Panthers, Mike Brad, inviting all of our fans in Taylorville, Shelbyville, Effingham, and Eastern Illinois to listen to Panther football on their information station, WTIM, and its many platforms, AM, FM, and online. Hear the Panthers as they compete in the Ohio Valley Conference. Follow the Panthers this season on your information station, WTIM, and go Panthers.
Camera Village in Assumption, Illinois has been supporting children and families for over 100 years. Hi, this is Executive Director Shalis Nagel. We can provide residential treatment, foster care services, an on-ground school, equestrian therapy, recreation therapy, and summer camp because of the generosity of people like you across Illinois. Your investment can be as rewarding to you as it is to our children. Go to www.kimmervillage.org/donate and help make a difference in a child's life.
At People's Bank and Trust, they say you can bank on us to put your business first. Finally, you have a real banking partner to make sense of business lending. Find out how People's Bank and Trust's business bankers can serve you by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Jeff Robinson from Advanced Title. Whether selling your home on your own or through your local realtor, please give us a call at 824-8007 for all your title work needs.
Your information station. WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. Your stream on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com's Facebook and WTIM TV YouTube. Brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark and people's bank and trust. They put people first. I have Ag and the Classroom coordinator, Rebecca Livingston, on the phone right now, and we're talking about all the great things going on in Ag and the Classroom and catching you up with some of her lesson plans that she's teaching the youngsters. Rebecca, you mentioned to me how right now you're teaching kids about soil and the importance of good, healthy soil. So what can you tell me, or rather maybe a better way to put it is, I want you to tell me about what you're telling those kids. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
Okay.
So, it's kind of funny because I love this lesson. My coworker who used to do Ag in the Classroom before I did it in Montgomery, Beth, she came up with this lesson. And what we do is we read a book about dirt, about soil, and we talk about what you can find in soil, all of that. And then we got containers of dirt. We have containers of dirt. We put fake bugs, fake fishing worms, sticks, leaves, and rocks in there because all the things you can find in soil. And the kids basically get to go on a scavenger hunt, and we let them go, and they get to use tweezers, and they get to find all of this stuff. And I love this lesson. It is one of my favorites. It's a teacher favorite. It's so cool to watch the kids. It's so cool to watch the kids. Like, the amount of times, Avery, I've had a kid tell me, there's something moving. I'm like, there's nothing moving in your soil. Like, no, there's not. I know it's all fake. Like, so it's really, really cool to see the kids' reactions with that, because, you know, like, when I was a kid, I got to play in dirt, but that may not be the case as much nowadays. So, like, they get to actually dig in dirt, dig in soil, and find stuff. And then we have a little checklist, and they get to check it off and that. And I decided this year, I was like, you know what would be cool is if I got worms, like actual real worms, and I let the kids hold it. And we talked about this off air, but yeah, the reactions of some kids are priceless. Like, it's a worm. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to bite you. It feels weird. It feels cold and slimy. But they're like, I mean, you can imagine like a kindergartner, like me bringing a worm being like, ew, I don't want to touch that. I've not made a kid cry yet. And that, I mean, I don't want to do that, but there's been a few schools of that. And then it's kind of fun to watch kids who say no at first. You're like, yeah, no, I don't really want to do that. And then everybody else in the class does it, and they're like, okay, I'll touch it. And then they touch it, and then they hold it. And I'm like, oh, this isn't so bad. So it's just really, really cool. And the feedback from the teachers is awesome on that. They're like, I never would have thought of that. They're like, that is a good idea, because kids don't get the opportunity anymore to, like, you know, play with worms. But like, when I was a kid, I would find worms all the time and play with them. But I'm also a farm kid, and I grew up in the dirt, so.
Right now they've got iPads in their hands. Now,
Exactly.
We won't get in. We won't. We don't.
That's a whole nother. Yeah. So I'm not anti-technology. Like, technology is here. It is great. I use it every day. But I still think at the same time, like, okay, like, worms are cool. Worms are very, very important to soil. They're excellent for soil health. Like, a worm's not going to hurt you. And I had to tell one kid one time, they're like, a worm is more mean than my cat. I'm like, a cat can scratch you and bite you. A worm can't do that. A worm can crawl out of your hand, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I told the kid that in there, and he was like, I never thought of that like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, yep. So, but
what kind of programs are you offering teachers and kids for? I don't know, maybe it's a Friday afternoon and they're looking for something fun to do, but also it's maybe something sweet to eat when they're done with it.
Oh, you mean like pumpkin pie in a bag?
That sounds amazing. What is that?
Yeah, so I've talked about this a couple times on air before. Like I said earlier, we are the #1 producer of pumpkins in the world. We produce a lot of pumpkins, and pumpkin pie in a bag is like, if you ask a teacher, okay, what is ag in the classroom? I am going to guarantee you they're going to say one of two answers. They're going to say chicks or pumpkin pie in a bag. Like, that is just what it is. It is a very, very popular lesson. It comes out, I mean, it's heydays right now. When I was naive and young, 5 years ago when I first started this, like, yeah, I'm going to do it across the board and do, like, a lot of it. It's a lot, but it is a really cool lesson. So what it is we take pumpkin pie, puree, Cool Whip, instant vanilla pudding, milk, and like cinnamon, nutmeg, and we put it all into a gallon bag. We put another gallon bag in it, so just in case it spills. Then the kids get to mix it up, so they get to go around and mix it up, and then we put it in little cups, and they get to eat pumpkin pie in a bag. There's no baking involved. It's really, really cool to see the kids get to do it, because once again, that kind of goes back to like hands-on, and like they may not get to do that as much now. So it's a really neat lesson. It's really cool. I am more selective now of what I do and how I do that, because there's a lot that goes into it, and it's a favorite. But from my perspective, if you ask anyone who does my job, they will kind of have mixed feelings about it. So,
well, thank you so much for talking about your program here, Rebecca. I do appreciate it.
No problem.
It's Rebecca Livingston, Ag in the Classroom Coordinator here in Christian Shelby in Montgomery County. Did I get that right?
Christian and Montgomery.
Christian and Montgomery, no Shelby. But yeah, thank you so much, Rebecca. And you're listening to the WTIM Morning Show. The stream on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com's Facebook and WTIM TV YouTube brought to you by People's Bank and Trust. They put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. You always do better with Landmark.
WTIM.
That's our news. I'm Rich Thomason.